Morning, everybody. Welcome into the Tuesday episode here of Winning Bets. I'm, of course, Jason Mattis, giving you guys free sports picks every single day. We appreciate you guys kicking off another morning with me here. We got an exciting show on tap. We got to go ahead and recap yesterday's action, and then we got to get in some bets for today that include Major League Baseball. Then also, let's go ahead and look ahead towards Thursday Night Football between the Steelers and Browns. And let's go ahead and lock in a teaser for that game as well. That'll involve the spread and the over in that one. But before we do all that, again, let's go ahead and make sure we recap the previous day, in which we'll be able to ring the cash register. That's right, we are ringing the cash register, folks. Because how about that? Plus 0.85 units. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feels damn good to hear that cash register. What were those wins yesterday? How about Tyler Alexander? There are the Detroit Tigers over 2.5 strikeouts. How about a nice second inning cash as he got 2 in the first and got another one in the second inning to go ahead and cash over 2.5 strikeouts. How about Clayton Kershaw under 5.5 strikeouts? Now that one was nowhere close. I couldn't tell you where he ended up with, but he struck out the side in the third inning to get him with 6 strikeouts through 3 innings pitched. I'm assuming at that rate, he may have even touched double digits. I have no idea. Stop paying attention. Once you go ahead and lose a bet, that's all she wrote in terms of paying attention. So not quite sure where Clayton Kershaw ended up, but was striking guys out obviously really well last night. So that's unfortunate stuff. And then we dropped the Nerfy there last night in the Tigers and the Orioles game. Just typical, just one run. And it's always just typical when you look at a Nerfy, when you put one together. You know, you've obviously got 2 pitchers, and you think like, okay, this is the pitcher we're going to have to sweat. Well, the pitcher we had to sweat yesterday was the one that didn't give up the run. He was relatively clean. It was the one that we thought was the easier of the two. He was the one that gave up a run as the Detroit Tigers just scraped one across Miguel Cabrera, hit a single with a man on first, and he got all the way around to go ahead and score. So unfortunate stuff right there. Love that play. Let's see if we can't play that one again today. Then we had a couple plays in Monday Night Football. We only had one there in the Eagles and Vikings. Dalvin Cook over 70.5 rushing yards. I saw the whole damn world on that bet, it seemed like yesterday, as I was hanging out throughout the day yesterday and just kind of seeing other bets that other people were putting out there. Everybody was on Dalvin Cook, and they didn't do a damn thing. They didn't do a damn thing. And a high-scoring game that people were thinking, or a competitive game, or maybe even a game in which the Vikings would be able to pull out. None of that happened, as the Vikings didn't put up much of a performance. I didn't catch a whole lot of that game with it being played at the same time as Bills-Titans. Obviously, my focus was locked in on watching the Buffalo Bills, so not quite sure what happened to the Vikings. I need to dig into that sometime between now and next week before their game against the Lions to see what happened, so we can, potentially bet that game accordingly with the Lions and the Vikings. But yeah, terrible performance there by Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. But then we rebounded very, very nicely, though, in that Titans versus Bills games. As we do, we always seem to push the right buttons in Bills games, and yesterday we pushed 3 of those right buttons. How about Derrick Henry on the anytime touchdown? It was always Derrick Henry, folks. They may have only gotten 1 touchdown, but even though it came early, even if they got that touchdown late, it was always Derrick Henry. Loved when the Bills challenged that play. Obviously, it doesn't get overturned, and they get that 4th and 1, and you just know it's going to Derrick Henry in that spot. The Bills, struggle in the run game, generally speaking. You got the best one in the game in Derrick Henry. Yeah, he's going to easily get that ball. So good job by Derrick Henry punching it in and getting a touchdown. We also did Bills over 3.5 touchdowns at plus 114. Just go ahead and run that back every single week. The Bills are touching 30-ish points every single week, if not going well over 30 points. That offense, you guys saw it again last night. I mean, they got the best quarterback in the league. I'll just go ahead and say it right now, and you can hit up in the comment section and call me a damn homer if you want. That's the best quarterback in the league. That is the best quarterback in the league. You paired him up with Stephon Diggs, maybe one of the better receivers in the league. Certainly a top 3, top 5 in terms of gaining separation at the line. You just can't guard that guy. He's unguardable. They've just got enough weapons, so love it. Love it. Over 3.5 touchdowns. We'll look to play that bet again. And then Bills over 13.5 points scored in the first half. Parlay that with the full game money line. None of that, generally speaking, was a threat. It just seems like when the Bills get the ball, they're scoring points. So that's what it feels like. They get the ball, they're getting 7, maybe sometimes 3, but more times than not, it feels like there's just 7 points. It's just absolutely waiting right there. So enjoyed watching that game. Obviously, the Bills put on another show and whooped up on those Titans on Monday Night Football and easily got the 2-0. So more importantly, though, we turned a profit. After all that Monday Night Football and after all that baseball, we turned 0.85 units of profit. So love that start to our week. We'll look to carry that on in the rest of the week. I told you guys we were turning it around, and you could feel it coming. Losses were close, or stupid losses, or whatever it was going on. So good to see that we went ahead and got some profit. Let's go ahead and jump in the comment section. Then let's give away $25 on the NFL Pigskin Pick'em contest. And then let's also talk about the NFL Eliminator Contest as well. I don't know, man. It was yeah. You obviously watched the game. It doesn't sound good. I saw Dalvin Cook only got, was it like 6 carries? I mean, how do you get 20 carries in week 1 and like a nice performance? Obviously, the lead against the Packers is going to lead towards more of a run-heavy game script. Call it second half. But you don't get 20 carries in week 1. See that the Eagles get gashed in the running game. You only get 6 carries. I don't care if you get down early. I could care less if you get down early and the score is 21-7. Tons of teams. Shit, the Dolphins came after 21 points, down 1 quarter alone in the 4th quarter. You just can't abandon the running game. I don't like to see that comment there, Lane. I don't like to do that. Colts are preparing for next season. Yeah, you love that. Love that. You took Henry's under 75.5 yards. That would be a good angle. You can imagine most teams are going to be getting behind the Bills and getting behind the Bills early and have to resort towards more of a throwing game plan. So to take Henry under his yardage, that was a good move. Obviously, taking him to score a touchdown, I thought was always going to happen. This is going to be a good game between Miami and Bills. Sean McDermott and the Bills have owned the Dolphins. Like 7-2, I think, or they've played them even number of times. They played them twice this season. It must be 7-1. I think they're 7-1 in Sean McDermott's career up against the Dolphins. He owns them. Dolphins are making the right moves. Fantastic performance against the Ravens. Bills are going to come into this game injuries. You saw the injuries that they had going into last night's game. You saw the number of injuries that they occurred in last night's game. It's going to be a fascinating show. We'll look forward to see how that one goes. It gives nothing in the second half. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch it, but disappointing. Thought that over was a good play yesterday. Glad I did not end up playing it. Loved the hell out of it, but glad I didn't end up playing it. Love to see it. Love to see it right there. All right, let's go ahead, guys. Let's talk some NFL Pigskin Pick'em contest. Let's just go ahead and start with that one. I've got that one kind of queued up first here. And as you guys can see, week 2, your boy won. Your boy takes home the title. I don't have to give away $25 on today's show. How about that? I saved myself $25. Hey, guys, I put together a damn nice performance. I went 12-4. 12-4 Pigskin Pick'em contest. Kind of seeing it in week 1, seeing it now in week 2, going 12-4. Going to focus on maybe some single ATS bets going forward. Just feel like we're in a good spot. Normally, I like to crank out ATS bets in NFL like after week 4. Usually like to let a quarter of the season go by until you really kind of feel like you get a handle of teams playing and who teams are. And not this season. Maybe after a nice 12-4 weekend, maybe we can crank out a couple of my best ATS bets over this weekend. So, yeah, good one right there. Absolutely good one right there. 120 points, 12-4. Look at it, though. Everybody right there behind me, though. Lots of tough scores. I've now vaulted to the top of the season-long standings. We're all right there. So, all right, we didn't give away $25 on today's show as I was able to get first place in NFL Week 2. Hopefully somebody else can beat me and we can give away $25 on next week's show. Let's go ahead and take a look at those Eliminator contests. We came into Week 2 with only 25 people, and you can see here on this snapshot, of those 25 people, 10 went down. Only 15 people survived. This is crazy. We only had 42 people enter this contest. We're down to 15. Of the initial 42, down to 15. That's some crazy stuff. What was the carnage that happened this week? Well, you can see right there that the Broncos, Bills, and Rams all led the way with 4 people picking each of those teams. Broncos may have struggled against the Texans, but I thought it was certainly the right play. Bills against the Titans, certainly the right play. Bills against anybody right now is the right play. And Rams handled the Falcons. They obviously let the Falcons get back in the game. They made the score look respectable, but it was Falcons, all the way through. You had some other winners right there. You had the Buccaneers get one over the Saints. I thought that was a gutsy pick, but obviously a good pick. Chiefs over the Chargers. Boy, that one was gutsy there by Brian, but Brian got himself a victory on Thursday Night Football. And then I was the only one that took the Packers. You can see right there, one selection with the Packers, and it was myself. I thought that was a no-brainer. I just couldn't. The Bears are terrible. They only won that game against 49ers because it was raining. So look at the losses, though. We had somebody go down with the Bengals. I kind of talked about that yesterday on TikTok Live, kind of touched on it here. No way you would have seen me fade the Cowboys their first week after their star player goes down. You guys know how that script works in the NFL, so I wouldn't have touched the Bengals with a 10-foot pole. 2 people didn't make a pick. Another person went down with the Colts, or actually 2 people went down with the Colts. Just tough stuff. What are the Colts doing to start the season? Can't beat the Texans, can't beat the Jaguars, just struggling last place in the division. Although I guess in theory, was it Jaguars first place? Yeah, Jaguars the only team with the win. Jaguars first place in that division. Holy shit, there's some breaking news for you. Jaguars, your AFC South division leaders right there. That's some surprising stuff. So tough stuff to go down there with the Colts. And then some other people went down with the Browns over the Jets. I mean, that's like one of those like, what the hell moments. You're up 13 with like a minute and a half to go, and the Jets come all the way back and beat you. Tough loss right there by that one. Somebody else went ahead and faded Bill Belichick and took the Steelers. I like the Steelers, but no way in hell I'm fading Bill Belichick. I've been burned by him for 20 plus years now. I know when to stay clear of Bill Belichick, so I wouldn't have touched that one. And then Raiders over the Cardinals, probably more than likely a good bet, but we've all seen the Cardinals come back and how they won in overtime, so just unfortunate right there. All right, 15 people survive as we now move into NFL Week 3. Crazy to think we had 42 people enter this contest, and just after 2 weeks, we're already down just to 15 people remaining. I cannot wait. Again, it's my favorite contest. I wish we could just fast forward now and just go right to the end to see if somebody can actually make it, all 18 weeks, or to see where people stumble. I love it. I want to see where I'm going to go ahead and stumble. I've never won this contest on anything. I'd like to see if I can go all the way. So we'll just see. One step closer after picking the Packers and getting the win. So congratulations to everybody. 15 winners march on to NFL Week number 3. Congratulations. Let's jump back in those comment sections, see if anybody's talked any Eliminator smack. And like I said, guys, we got to talk some smack on these videos on the Pigskin Pick'em contest and that NFL Eliminator. Bill will get beat. I assume we're talking about the Bills. Yeah, the Bills will get beat. All right, you're all on the Dolphins earlier on the week. Yeah, New England has more of my money too than betting against. I hear you, man. Yeah, there's like some things you just don't do. Like, you just don't fade Bill Belichick. Like, I get it, you pick the Steelers, but like, and I can't talk much smack, right? I took a team in week 1 that didn't even get a win. But I don't know, just some things, it's like the Steelers just weren't the best bet on the board to pick them an Eliminator. But that's the great thing about Eliminator too, is you get 42 people in here, and we all see things differently in terms of like, what's the must win? Like, right, what's the absolute lock? Like, whoever picked the Steelers in Eliminator, they were at plus money because they were like plus 2 or plus 2.5. I imagine they threw in heavy on them in terms of real money. So hate to see it. More likely they lost some cash. So yeah, just hate to see that right there. All right, speaking of football, let's go ahead and throw up our Thursday Night Football teaser that we've got going on. This one just makes too much sense, so I've already went ahead and locked it in. You can get it over at DraftKings, as you can see. Give me Steelers plus 10.5. This is the Steelers team that dominates this head-to-head over the Cleveland Browns. And not only do they dominate the head-to-head over the Cleveland Browns, but it always stays under. So I'll go ahead and take the under and tease it up, of course, because we're doing a teaser. So I'll take Steelers plus 10.5. Can't see them losing by double digits. Just can't see them losing by double digits. Not the way this head-to-head is played out. Not the way these two teams are playing this season. Steelers keep it close and competitive against everybody. You see it. They lose to the Patriots and Bill Belichick, but they go down fighting, almost have a chance there in the end to, tie it up and maybe force overtime. So they're going to keep it close. And in the process, I see this game staying under 47.5 points. Again, it's just kind of the way it goes with these two teams, division rivals. It's a nice, low-scoring, close game. But generally speaking, the Steelers coming out on top. You generally speaking don't even need the plus 10.5, but they're on the road, and we do have Mitchell Trubisky leading them. So we'll go ahead and take the 10.5 and under 47.5 points. Excited to lock in that teaser with you guys. All right, let's go ahead now and talk some MLB. An interesting MLB slate. I've got 4 bets, and then I've got things we want to keep an eye on. Then I've got some rapid fire that, of course, we want to go ahead and get to at the end of the show as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and throw up those MLB bets. You guys can see I'm going to run back that Nerfy there in Tigers versus Orioles, minus 105 over at MGM. Obviously did not cash yesterday. We still like it again today. We know from an offensive standpoint why we like it. We don't really need to discuss that. From a pitcher standpoint, it actually gets better. Because yesterday we had one pitcher that was good and one pitcher that was so-so. Well, it was actually the pitcher that was good that gave up the run, ironically enough. Today we get 2 pitchers that are good. Wentz, a small sample size, has only had 4 starts. He's given up 1 run in those 4 starts, had some early jitters. Settled down now. Again, only 4 starts. And then the other guy, Voth, he's a guy that we've actually backed. He's had 14 starts and only given up 3 runs with 16 strikeouts. So 2 guys that have got 2 good numbers in the first inning. You love to see it. You got 2 struggling offenses. You got 2 struggling offenses in the first inning. two pitchers that are decent in the first inning. It's an absolute nerfy, love scenario here in terms of the hitting and the pitching. And to get it at minus 105 is just the icing on the cake. So we'll try and run back the nerfy there in Tigers versus Orioles. It's easily by far the best one of the day. You guys can also see right there, I'm on the Cubs money line. We got Cubs money line. We got two right-handers on the mound here in Sampson. He's taking on Pablo Lopez. First of all, we just want to talk from a pitcher standpoint. Well, Sampson hasn't seen the Marlins. Pablo Lopez saw the Cubs a couple months ago and got roughed up. He gave up 4 runs over 5 innings. So right off the bat, we like that, right? The Cubs have seen Lopez where the Marlins have not seen the Sampson guy there for the Cubs. From a hitting standpoint versus right-handers, the Cubs do it all better, but it's just marginally. And let me give you an example. Batting average is 233 versus 231. We're slugging 369. They're only slugging 350. Our OPS is 653 versus their OPS of 636. So we're not doing... The Cubs are doing it all better offensively versus right-handed pitching, but we're not doing it all dramatically better. Where we're getting some bigger advantages in this game is really in the bullpen, and not a big surprise, right? The Marlins have struggled most of the season in the bullpen. The Cubs, they've generally been one of the struggling ones. They're decent right now. They're about middle of the pack, but just look at the ERA. Look at your FIP, your BABIP, your opponent's batting average, your WHIP. The Cubs do it all better. And this one here in the bullpen, they do it marginally better. They're pretty good gaps across the board there in all those stats from a bullpen standpoint. So I'll take the better starter. I think Sampson has got better numbers. You want to go ahead and compare them. He's got, I'll go ahead and pull it up. I did already have it here. We've got a 1.27 WHIP versus a 1.22, a 3.99 ERA. Sampson's is 3.48. There's probably no real edge here in starting pitching. Where we're going to get the edge is slightly with the bats, but really if this becomes a bullpen game, now it really tips in our favor for the Cubs to have the advantages. And then at that point, if it becomes a bullpen game and we're holding on to a plus 135 money line, boy, we'll be feeling really good if this becomes a bullpen game. So I'll go ahead and take the Cubs on that money line today at plus 135. I'll also go ahead and take the Red Sox at minus 115. You get the Reds. Let's just talk about right-handed pitching here for a second because they're going up against Bello there of the Boston Red Sox. The Cincinnati Reds have the worst batting average versus right-handers. They're hitting 191. They're not bringing any power to the plate at 302. Their OPS is only 560. You want to flip it over to the other side of that, the Red Sox. They'll be facing a left-hander today in Lodolo. They got the number 1 batting average versus left-handers at 358. They're slugging 509. Their OPS is 931. They're not striking out. They're drawing a high walk percentage. So from a hitting standpoint, we're easily getting, I think, their advantage by far. From a bullpen standpoint, you're getting big advantages. We know those Reds bullpen has been one of the better bullpens to fade all season long. They're still a good fade right now. And then you want to add into that the Red Sox are top 5 bullpen right now across the board right there in the bullpen top 5. Their BABIP is what you really like at 235. Opponent's batting average of 177. So, all right, I'll go ahead and back the better bullpen by far, the better offense by far. Starter, you got to tip your hand and probably say Lodolo is going to have the upper handage, but that could really be countered by the Red Sox crushing left-handed pitching and neutralized really by the Reds' struggles right now versus right-handed pitching. So sign me up for that Red Sox money line at minus 115 over on BetMGM. Then you can see the last one we did there was the Blue Jays money line at plus 107. Kind of going back to the same thinking here with the Blue Jays as the Blue Jays are taking on the Phillies here. Maybe make you a little bit nervous because you are taking on the Phillies, but from two right-handers standpoint, boy, the Blue Jays are top 3 across the board in terms of hitting right-handers, a 288 average, a 493 slugging. Their OPS is 458. You got to go damn near towards middle of the pack, towards the bottom half to find the Phillies. They're ranked 20th, 226 average, 452 slugging, 755 OPS. Striking out more than the Blue Jays, or really actually a high more than the Blue Jays, about 4 percentage points more than the Blue Jays right now. So I'll take the better offense. I'll by far take the better bullpen when we're talking Blue Jays versus the Phillies. It's not too close. I mean, the Phillies right now are actually just absolutely bottom of the barrel. Their opponent's batting average is 283. Their BABIP is 368. Their ERA is 6.46. This Phillies bullpen is absolutely struggling right now. Now, Toronto is in the bottom half of the league, but they're not in the bottom 3 like the Phillies. So I'll go ahead and take the better offense. I'll go ahead and take the better bullpen by far. Starter, it's Stripling versus Gibson. Probably no real big advantage there. So I'm just taking 2 of the 3 advantages. and going to go ahead and back the Blue Jays today at plus 107. So that's how we'll do it. Some other things we want to talk about here on the MLB slate, and then I want to go ahead and do rapid fire with you guys. I am interested in the Dodgers F5 team total in Game 1, where they're going to go up against Zach Davies. Faced him 5 days ago. They've been crushing him. This is already going to be their 4th time seeing him this season. They've had success in each outing. Again, they faced him 5 days ago. The Dodgers are smoking right-handed pitching right now. I just want to wait in the lineup. I mean, the Dodgers just have such a big lead in the National League. They don't need to trot out a Mookie Betts, a Freeman, a Turner, a Muncy, all these guys. Gallo's even done really good since he's come over to the Dodgers. I just want to see the lineup on that one. I just want to see the lineup. The price has not moved. Let's see what the price is right now. See, it's still minus 130 over on DraftKings. It's just not moving. So there's no big real rush to get that. Let's just wait, see the lineups that we get, and then maybe we can make a move there on the Dodgers F5 team total. The other thing I'm interested in is Nestor Cortes over 5.5 strikeouts. It opened at even money on DraftKings. I've been watching that one. It's now down to minus 115. And I'm hoping, hopefully somebody in this chat is a Yankees fan and can help me out here. And the reason I haven't pulled the trigger on this one, it's an easy pull in terms of the Pirates versus left-handers, guys. Pulling up the number right now. It's 33.6% from a strikeout percentage. That is god-awful high. Probably damn near off the top of my head, one of the highest ones I've seen all season long at 33.6%. So Pirates can't hit left-handers. They're striking out a ton. The thing that makes me nervous is, why has Cortes in his last 2 outings pitched 4 innings, 5 innings, but the more concerning thing is he's only had 58 and 65 pitches. Like, what's going on with this guy that they're dialing him back in terms of the number of pitches? So I like over 5.5 strikeouts. You got to love it with how the Pirates struggle. But if he's only going, 60 pitches, 65 pitches, shit, I don't know if I want Nestor Cortes over 5.5. So if you're a Yankees fan and maybe you got some information on what the hell's going on here with Nestor Cortes and his workload and his, pitch count and why it's being dramatically dialed back, give a shout. Because I like Nestor Cortes over 5.5 Ks, but I just can't pull the trigger with his game log and not knowing maybe what to expect to get out of him out of lane. So that makes me nervous. We've also got Charlie Morton over his strikeouts. They're taking on the Nationals today. What's there not to like about that? So you can run back Charlie Morton if that's of interest for you. You can also look at the Pablo Lopez going under his Ks. We mentioned the Cubs. They're not striking out terribly right now versus right-handed pitching. So I think Pablo Lopez, look, we've been taking his number this season at 5.5. For some reason, they've knocked it up to 6.5. He's not a guy that's got a good hit rate at over 6.5. I mean, this is his strikeouts in the last handful of games. 5, 2, 7. So he's already gotten burned once. Then 6, 5, 2, 4, 6, 1, 11. So you would have gotten burned again. So you've only gotten burned twice so far in the last 3 months of baseball. Now, a 6, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, 6, 5, 8, 2, 11, 5, 7. So you've only gotten burned 4 times in the last 4 months. So I think Pablo Lopez under 6.5 Ks. You can get that one at minus 104. I think that one's an absolutely fantastic look. We've been burned by Lopez striking out his last batter. So that's why I couldn't quite pull the trigger, kind of. You'll see here in a second what I mean by that. But I like Pablo Lopez under his strikeouts. If you guys are also looking at, and you guys have already probably not only looked at it, you guys have probably already bet it, but the Braves are taking on Patrick Corbin, who that's their daddy. They absolutely own Patrick Corbin. Yeah, I mean, just look at the guys. If you guys want to do Acuna, Austin Riley, the catcher there, Travis Arnaud or Nod, whatever the hell his name is, he's got good. Just start plucking out Braves players. How can it not be good against Patrick Corbin? They absolutely crush him. The only thing is, and the reason why I haven't ultimately pulled the trigger, it's just to give you guys fair warning. And the reason why I'm not on a Braves F5 team total today, the Atlanta Braves actually come in with the worst batting average right now versus left-handers. They're coming in only hitting 141. Their power is 239, and that's with 100 plate appearances. So we're not talking, a small sample size in the last 10 days. That's a decent sample size versus left-handers, and they are not doing anything right now versus left-handed pitching. So if you're going to go ahead and back the Braves against Patrick Corbin, from a history standpoint, we know we're well within your right there. They just own Patrick Corbin. But if this is another opportunity for Patrick Corbin to have success, from a stats point, it's looking at you right in the face to why Patrick Corbin can have success. That's why I'm not going to go ahead and bet him today. I'm not going to go ahead and bet the Braves because I'm a little nervous that they're struggling right now versus left-handed pitching. If you guys want to find a couple guys that can go ahead and get you a hit today, Gio Urshela and Juan Moncada. Gio Urshela is a Minnesota Twin. Juan Moncada, Chicago White Sox. They're both hitting 444 and 438 respectively off of today's starters. And they both have 20 plus sample sizes, or 20 plus plate appearances versus those starters. So a decent sample size. So maybe you only do an over 0.5 hits parlay involving Urshela and Juan Moncada right there. I think you'd be well within your right. But in terms of baseball bets, I'm just going to roll with those 4. I'm going to keep an eye on Dodgers F5 team total. I really wish I knew what the hell was going on with Nestor Cortes and his workload right there. And then a couple of those other things I've talked about. You guys remember we earned a free bet over on FanDuel on Sunday. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put Pablo Lopez in that free roll. I really like him to stay under 6.5 strikeouts. I like Austin Riley. Of those Atlanta Braves, I'm going to go ahead and pluck out Austin Riley. Just like his numbers compared to the others. And also a guy that doesn't strike out a ton versus Patrick Corbin. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with Austin Riley. And then Gio Urshela. Of those 2 guys I mentioned to get a hit, I like Gio Urshela's numbers better than Juan Moncada's. So I'll go ahead and roll with Gio Urshela. And that'll be a little 3-legged parlay free roll that we earned on Sunday. Unfortunately, in losing the bet, we earned it. So that's how we do it. All right, let's go ahead and jump in the comment sections, and then let's make sure we go ahead and do rapid fire, guys. Let's have some fun with rapid fire. All right, let's see what we got here for this. Well, all right, you're on your Dolphins, my man. He is all on his Dolphins today. Love it. Steelers always beat the Browns. That's a true statement. That's a true statement. So, obviously, I feel really stinking good about getting Steelers plus 10.5. If you think you need the under to go up, then take away from the Steelers plus 10.5 and maybe do Steelers plus 8.5 and give yourself a little more points. But the fact is, over on DraftKings, the highest you can give yourself is under 48. You can't even go above 48. Maybe other books you can, but so you can really only increase it one other number. But yeah, that would be in game 1 if we pull the trigger there, DGent. Dodgers F5 team total over 2.5 is minus 130 over on DraftKings. We would only be interested in game 1 against Zach Davies with how well they're hitting right-handed pitching. Zach Davies is terrible. They've already faced him a ton. So we just want to see the lineup. We just want to see if we get a Betts. We want to see if we get a Turner. We want to see if we get Freeman. Muncy would be nice to have in there. Gallo, the way he's been. I mean, guy's rejuvenated his season moving over there. So just want to check the lineups. The price isn't moving, so we got plenty of time to do that. Would you parlay any of the money lines together? Obviously, I would never parlay any plus money dog. You're already getting something at plus money. You don't need to ruin a nice hit on the Cubs by adding the Cubs and the Red Sox in a parlay. So yeah, because of the odds, I'll say no, Brian, because you got plus money stuff. Yeah, Nestor Cortes has got a funky delivery. I want to know what the hell's going on with his workload, though. I knew he was coming off an injury, but still, to only have 58 and 65 pitches, see, so if that's even more, if they're going to ease him back in today, I don't know if I like Nestor Cortes over 5.5 Ks. But if I knew I was getting, 90 plus pitches, let's say from Nestor Cortes, I would be on it. I would be absolutely on it. And then we got a Twins, Rays, money line parlay. Let's go ahead and jump in rapid fire, and I'll give you guys my opinion. Based on stats, of course. Based on stats, I'll give you guys my opinion on who I think can win these games or lose these games. Twins, Rays, moneyline parlay. We'll get to that one here in a second. Let's do it right now. All right, guys. Here's a rapid fire for you guys. All right, there's only one day game today. It's Diamondbacks and Dodgers with an over-under of 9. Diamondbacks plus 195. Dodgers minus 230. Of course, you're taking the Dodgers in the spot. They are playing a doubleheader today. Makes you a little bit nervous. But you even look at the nightcap and you get Tyler Anderson going on. You guys remember last week we took over his strikeout prop. He didn't go over his strikeout prop, but he went 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. You like the Dodgers in both games. So, yeah, you like the Dodgers in both games. I mean, simply put, they got all the advantages over the Diamondbacks. So, again, make sure you're following me on Twitter. We get a Dodgers lineup we like in game 1. We're going to go ahead and jump on that F5 team total between the Cubs and Marlins. We'll go ahead and skip it. I'll go ahead and say under. I will go ahead and say under, but boy, I like that Cubs money line way better. Astros and Rays with an over-under of 6. Holy cow, is this line dropping? Astros plus 135, Rays minus 155. Astros are decent right now versus left-handers. Obviously, they're getting a tough one an absolute tough one in McClanahan. So I'm going to lean on McClanahan just being tough like he is. Even though the Astros are decent right now versus left-handers, you got to count the Rays are also good right now versus right-handers, and they're seeing Javier today. From a bullpen perspective, you do give the advantage to the Astros, but I think you're going to get a nice start here out of McClanahan. So I'll go Rays. That over under a 6 is tough. I'll go Rays and over. Rays and over. Red Sox and Reds with an over-under of 8.5. Red Sox minus 120 now. Reds at even money. I'm going to stick with liking the Red Sox at minus 115 over on BetMGM. Again, like their advantages from an offensive standpoint, like their advantages from a bullpen standpoint. I think the starters, while Lodolo does have the advantage, I think it'll get kind of neutralized with the advantages we're getting or not getting with the hitting. I'm going to stick with the Reds at the Red Sox at minus 115. Blue Jays and Phillies. Again, I like the Blue Jays. You get an over-under here of 8.5. I'll go ahead and take over 8.5 in this game. Give me over 8.5. Tigers and Orioles, over-under of 8.5. Tigers plus 170. Orioles minus 200. Boy, this game finished 11-0 yesterday. Really weird game. Orioles didn't do a damn thing in that game yesterday. But you got to like them today with both on the mound. Go ahead and give me the Orioles. Are they worth the run line? Maybe drop them in a parlay. I don't know if they're quite worth the run line. He's been struggling a little bit lately, so maybe just do a parlay piece. Pirates and Yankees. We have no idea who's pitching for the Pirates. Cortez is on the mound for the Yankees with an over-under of 8. With what the Pirates are scuffling so much for his left-handers, obviously the Yankees. Maybe just do a Yankees-Orioles parlay if you want somebody to parlay with the Orioles. Yankees is a good piece. Nationals and Braves. Here's a tough one. Tough one because the Braves crush Corbin, but they're struggling versus left-handers. Was a really good sample size of 98. So it's not a small sample size at all. So I'll lean on the numbers. I'll lean on the histories. You like Charlie Morton, obviously, in this matchup going against the Nationals. So, but I'm not doing a 325 in a parlay. Minus 165 on the run line. Jesus, that's tough. That's tough. Just back the Braves, say, on a team total. If you're willing to take a chance that the Braves can do something, even though they're struggling versus left-handers, probably just back the Braves from a team total perspective. Mets and Brewers with an over-under of 8. Mets minus 120. Brewers even money. I wanted to be on the Mets F5 team total today because the Mets are doing really good versus left-handers. But they've announced that Ashby's going to pitch today, and it's going to be a bullpen game. They're not throwing him his normal workload, so it's going to be a bullpen game. So now we don't really get the left-handed hitting advantages that we would normally get, with the Mets taking on a left-hander. So with that being said, and what the Brewers are maybe doing right now versus right-handers, kind of a coin flip game, and that's why you've got even money against minus 120 to the Mets. I'll still lean to the Mets, the better team, the better bullpen, but that one's going to be low scoring. I'll go under 8. Under 8 with the Mets. Angels and Rangers, over under 8.5. Angels minus 130. Rangers plus 110. This was a game I looked up. It was easy to do the research because there was 2 left-handers on the mound, so I just kind of like that. It's just really easy to do the research when you just get 2 lefties. There wasn't much separation. You could obviously take a stab at the Angels at minus 130. Neither team shit to play for. I don't know, it's just a tough game to bet. There was no real separation in that. Twins and Royals. Here's a good game with an over-under of 9. Twins minus 120. Taking on the Royals at even money. You like everything about the Twins here. Dylan Bundy scares the having a little life out of you. So if you want to take the over, you're within your right. But in terms of who should get the win based on the stats, it should certainly be the Twins at minus 120. Guardians and White Sox with an over-under of 7. Guardians at plus 140. White Sox at minus 165. I'm not just knee-jerking and saying White Sox here. You guys know how I feel about the Guardians. Guardians came through for us again yesterday. Other than Cease, you get no advantages with the White Sox. You actually do get a little touch of a hitting. We don't know what we're going to get with Savali coming off the DL. I'll go Guardians at plus 140. I'll go Guardians at plus 140. Giants and Rockies with an over-under of 11.5. Giants even money. Rockies minus 120. This must have been a pitching change because this was 2 left-handers when I did the research earlier. So that means the Giants have now changed. And this guy, Brebbia, he's a bullpen guy. So we know we're getting a bullpen game now from the Giants. This has changed a little bit from the research. I will go under 11.5, and I'll go Rockies win the game at -120. Mariners and Athletics with an over-under of 7. This one screamed an under. Boy, you do the research here. Two decently good bullpens, two offenses that are struggling right now. You get Castillo and Sears on the mound. Give me under 7 in Mariners and Athletics. Cardinals and Padres with an over-under of 8. Cardinals -105. Padres -115. Clevenger versus Wainwright. Ah, man. That breeds an under, too. What is the... Can't quite recall the bullpen for the Padres. I recall it for the Cardinals. Let's see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, like it's been much of the season, Cardinals continue to have the better bullpen. I'll take the Cardinals and Adam Wainwright at -105. And then Diamondbacks and Dodgers, this is the second game of the nightcap. Again, it's Tyler Anderson. Yeah, they struggled versus left-handers. He chewed them up 5 days ago. I'll take the Dodgers, but it's -295, so it's really super juicy. Yeah, don't do Cortez then over 5.5 Ks. That would make me nervous, but it's unfortunate because at 33.6% strikeout there by the Pirates, that's a really stinking high one. It's a shame we don't know what we're going to get from Cortez. I see him going over 5.5 Ks on a normal workload. So, and we'll be doing the FIFA World Cup. I think the best way to answer that question is water wet? There you go, man. Come on, man. I went to the World Cup in Brazil. Like, am I doing a World Cup show? I love the comment. I love the question. Of course I am. I love soccer. I went to a World Cup. You know it, man. You know it. You know it. I'm probably going to do it with Matt again. He's comes to be... He's my buddy, and he knows soccer too. So yeah, we'll be doing. Yeah, we'll be doing. Well, I kind of like your comment how you got /show/s. Yeah, it's gonna be shows. I think you're right on the way you phrase the question. It's gonna be shows. So appreciate the question. Can't wait to talk some World Cup with you when it gets a little bit closer on. All right, guys, that's how we're going to do it today. I would say of the things, since I did that free roll and a lot of the things I liked made the free roll, really the only thing to keep an eye on today is that Dodgers F5 team total in game number 1 against Zach Davies. I'll get another check here. Yeah, still sitting there, so no real reason to buy it. The price is not moving, so we'll just wait. We'll get confirmation on the lineups here, and if we get a lineup we like there with the Dodgers, then we'll go ahead and pull the trigger there of the Dodgers F5 team total over 2.5 runs. All right, guys, we had a profitable Monday. Let's keep this shit going. Let's not try and stop this train anytime soon. Let's just keep the profits on coming and let's see if Tuesday can be cool to us. All right, enjoy your day. Come on back tomorrow. It's Wednesday. We'll keep cranking out the bets and having some more fun. Have a good one, guys.